Thank you so much, Mark, for being here. I am excited. I really like your perspective, even from just speaking to you for just like a few short moments. Like I know you have a really insightful perspective on the world, but you want to first take like 10 seconds, like literally just really short, to explain to people exactly what you do today.
10 seconds. That's
Okay,
a
we'll give you
tall
30.
order. Okay. So what I do is I help people build a coaching or consulting practice that's unique to them by drawing out their uniqueness, what they have in terms of personal experience, life history, and what they have to give to the world, and then matching that with people who need and want that. How was that? Was that within
Yeah,
10
that's awesome. I
seconds?
like that. Is you help them the building part and with like the getting the clients part? Like, do you do like
Yes.
referrals, or is it more like you help them with marketing? The first part I got like super clear. The second part I'm curious a little bit more about.
Great. I love it. Thank you. Great question. So here's the challenge that I find that pretty much everybody comes to me with, and whether they choose to work with me or not, that's up to the conversation we have and up to whether they see the path. So most people are constantly searching for the next trick. They're looking external to themselves. This is why everybody gets sucked into the latest and greatest and hottest thing that is being advertised on Instagram or Facebook or whatever, because it's a shiny object. And we've all heard that before, but that's because we're looking externally for an answer, for an idea, for inspiration, when what we need to do is stop and pause and start first on the inside. So this idea of discovering your personal history, discovering what you uniquely have to give to the world. And we all have it, by the way. I'm a believer that everybody has the potential to be self-employed and to sing their song, to give their gift to the world. Regrettably, a lot of people don't believe that. And regrettably, the vast majority of people who start to do that struggle and then give up. And as Thoreau said, lead lives of quiet and desperate mediocrity.
Yeah.
So when we start with who we are, then we start to look at the world differently. And we start to say, okay, who needs what I have to offer? Who wants what I have to offer? Now we have to flip the screen. Now it's no longer all about me, because that first thought process of starting something new, of creating, it's a creation, so it's ours. Now we need to put that on hold. We need to get out of ourselves and move to the other side of the table and look at what are people looking for? What do they want? In other words, understanding at an intimate level what somebody in our sphere that we can influence and that we can help and serve is looking for, and speaking to them in that language. That's where marketing begins.
Yeah.
So people jump right into, oh, I need leads, I need clients, I need customers, I need to advertise. No, you can't. You'll struggle and invest and spend. Well, it won't be an investment; it'll be a waste of money, and you'll end up, getting disheartened and discouraged. So what we need to do is start first, just slow down a bit and build some foundational principles into our business. Like, what do we have to uniquely offer? Who can we uniquely offer that to? Who really calls for that? How can we offer that? How can we offer it, and how can we deliver that? How can we fulfill on our promise? Then the fourth step gets to, how do I bring people into my universe that will be attracted to that?
Yeah, that's awesome. So you really work with people who want to start a coaching business. Like, do you tend to find people who are, let's say, coaches um already for like 5-10 years coming to you, or that's not your ideal client?
Typically not. So the sweet spot in terms of the people that typically come to me and that I work with are somewhere usually between a year and 3 years in business and are struggling because they're not really in business. They had the technical skill or developed some technical skill, either professionally, maybe they learned this in their craft, in their trade, or they took a coaching certification course or something, which helped them draw upon their professional experience and expertise. And then they are going to be a coach, but they have no business skills. They don't know how to build a business. So they're struggling, and they're constantly hitting the wall and maybe have spent a lot of money or wasted a lot of money on some of those shiny objects.
Yeah.
That
So let's
secret
go
bullet, that secret sauce, that magic thing that's going to solve all their problems. And this is where usually I come in quite often, if they're kind of sometimes that feeling like they're at their last resort, or sometimes just going, I am just tired I feel like I'm beating my head against the wall and I don't know what to do. So then what I do is work with them to use practical, strategic business principles to create a business and give them business skills.
Yeah. Do you think that when people come to you, right, like shiny objects, people like know that term, shiny object syndrome, very well. But do you think when they come to you, they realize that this is so-called like the end of shiny object syndrome? Not that like it's not going to happen again, but like this is like going to mean something serious. Is it like just another thing? Like how does it fall in together with all the other things that they've already invested? Or like you said, it's not an investment.
Yes, that is a brilliant question and a great question. So that's my job when I meet somebody. Can I bring them to a new level of awareness? Can I make them realize that they will continue to spin their tires if they continue to buy and try and implement tactics? We'll call them tactics when they don't have a sound strategy, when they don't have a sound business foundation. If I can enlighten them to that and bring them to that new level of awareness, then the magic starts to happen, because then it's, oh, okay, so it's nothing wrong with me. And in fact, it's probably nothing wrong with all of these tactics, because I don't even know if these are the right tactics or not. Right. I just jumped into them too quickly. So now we back up. So let me see if I can give you a practical example of this. Somebody hears that TikTok is the greatest thing on the planet. I got to be on TikTok. I got to just start banging out these quick little entertaining videos, and the world will be a path to my doorstep and I'll be wealthy. So I would say, great, that's fantastic. You've been spending a lot of time and energy and money on building, your TikTok profile and putting lots of content out there. Tell me a little bit about your ideal customer. Who do you want to serve? Oh, well, I deal with retired people who are struggling with their finances and wondering how they can make ends meet until their demise. Oh.
Not TikTok.
So, well, how many of those would be hanging around on TikTok?
Right. Oh, I'm not going to say that like none of them are, but not majority.
Yes.
Yeah,
so,
100%.
And also when you're a solopreneur, you have limited bandwidth.
Right. Yes.
You have limited bandwidth on so many levels. You have limited bandwidth in terms of just time. You have limited bandwidth in terms of your creativity and your ability to produce. You have limited bandwidth financially as well. So you need to be very accurate in where you go. You need to go where your people are going to be.
Yeah.
So that's the first place to attract people, right? Is being in the right place.
Yes. I think that in the world that we live in today, with so many people like helping other people and like, right, and there's so many tactics available, like you said.
Yes.
It's not like there's no one perfect tactic. Every person has to be able to be aware. And like you said, maybe with your help, or maybe they have that knowledge already of like what is best for their business specifically. And it's not that like one tactic is better than other. It's what is best for you and your business.
And we'll take it one step further. It's not even about me. It's not about what my business. It's only about what is best in terms of producing results.
Yes.
So first, identifying the result that I'm looking for. Do I want more clients? Do I want more likes? Do I want more exposure? Do I want more business? What is that what's the outcome that we're going for? And then where does that fit into our strategy?
100%. Yeah, exactly. Right. Like there's a difference between like being really famous on TikTok and making a lot of money from like clients and stuff. Right. And
Yes.
if both could happen from the same platform, but you're going to even like approach that differently. So 100%. But I want to go a little bit back and hear more about your story a little bit, like how you got into this and like what's your background. Like, so take us all the way back to the beginning.
Oh boy. And how much time do we have? So I'll
More
see
than
if I
10
can
seconds.
give you the quick version. So I was born at a young age. My father and mother, my father quit an 18-year career as an executive, as a top manager in an international firm, and sold everything and bought a small business in the countryside. And I was 7 years old. So that was my first exposure, and I was raised in a small business, family business environment. So that's where I kind of got that's where I got the bug. And that's where I sort of started to get this concept of not working for someone else, but actually being able to create something of my own. So fast forward, I've been in numerous businesses in North America, Canada, the United States, and Latin America. I've done a little bit of work in the UK as well, and bought, sold, launched, created businesses along the way, and got into really consulting pre-internet days, before the internet was around, and consulting and working with small businesses and helping them. And then I worked in the Republic of Panama, again, as a consultant and doing some work down there. And that was all about marketing to expats. So the target market there was North America and Europe. Well, you can't hang out a sign on the edge of the road. You can't put a good radio ad together. You have to figure out this thing called the internet. So that was in 2003. So I worked down there, did my work down there for 2 years. And that's when the light bulb really went off for me, saying I am going to shift my coaching and consultancy online exclusively, because that's what I had to do there. I mean, everything was online. So when I came back to where I am now, which is in Canada, I realized, that's that's the place to be, is to be in the digital world.
What year was this when you came back?
2005.
Okay. So
I shifted into the digital space in 2005. Yeah.
And
so what's happened is, in the brick and mortar world, in the pre-internet days, we built relationships by knocking on doors and being out in the marketplace. Now we build relationships through this screen, through the internet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when you did consulting, let's take to the 2005 period, right? Like you're bringing your consulting business online. Who was then your target market?
So when I returned to Canada, I first started working primarily with small businesses, and I had what one might call a digital marketing agency. So I was helping small businesses get into the online space. So local businesses, how do I leverage this thing? What do I do, to get online, and how can I turn that into something that isn't just, an online brochure, but something that can actually help me with my local business and drive traffic. So that was the first iteration, if you will, of my business. And then it evolved from there as I worked more in that space. To be perfectly frank, the agency concept is you're creating a business that has a lot of moving parts. And I started to wind that down. I did not want to build a massive scaled structure to have that going. So I started to scale that down, because more and more people were calling on me for coaching advice, to work with them, to help them figure out, what's going on in their business. And that just, naturally morphed into people with digital businesses. So people working online, and consultants, coaches, advisors, people like me that looked at my path and what I'd done and some of my ideas and said, wow, that's what I want to do. I want to figure out how to navigate that space and how to create a business in that world.
Yeah, pretty cool. When you came back to Canada, what was the biggest struggle for you and your business at that time?
I would say the biggest struggle, and I would imagine most people would share the struggle, is isolation, like being alone. So this is true. This was true in the pre-internet days too.
Yeah.
Is when you're creating something on your own, the buck stops here. So I I'm fortunate in that at a very young age, I learned to solve problems as an entrepreneur, as a business person. Most people don't have that, advantage. Most people come from a training. You and I talked about this before we started recording. They're educated to be a worker, to be an
Right.
employee. So that's really tough, because that's one of your biggest mindset shifts, is realizing, whoa, I can't rely on somebody to tell me what to do. I have to become a problem solver. And learning how to solve problems, which, by the way, that's what business is. Business is finding people who have problems, helping them solve those problems, and also within our business, looking at our own business, continually searching for problems and solving those. It's a perpetual process. So that's the biggest challenge. And even when you have a background like I do, it's still one where you find yourself alone and you have to go, okay, what is the issue? How do I define this? How do I get this down to what I need to do in order to move forward? And this comes back to the shiny object syndrome. This is where most people, they move too quickly. They don't allow themselves to use their brain. They don't think. So they jump and they buy a shiny object, because thinking is work. It's the hardest work you'll ever do.
As a brain engineer, I work with entrepreneurs to improve how they think. That is
Yes.
literally, I'm in agreement with you on that, right? Like, as entrepreneurs and business owners, and we love to like take action, which is awesome. Like, you need to take action in order to build, grow your business, help your customers. But to action too fast without thinking first is
Yes.
not helping anyone.
Yes. So most people will short circuit that. They skip over the thinking part and they go straight with the feeling.
Yeah.
And this is where brilliant marketers are brilliant at capturing you and putting you into a feeling state so that you take action without even thinking about it.
Yeah. Yeah. So do you help your clients today to like identify that, right? Like being able to see that, like, hey, like these marketers are using these emotions to grab you in.
Yes.
And on the flip side, do you and your clients use that type of marketing to still get clients?
Definitely. And this is where the psychology comes in, and you'll appreciate this because of your expertise. Is there's a component there that we need to be very aware of, and that's ethics and morals and how we want our business to be. Most people are, show me the money, give me the money. They think that's the reason that they're going to go into business is to make money. But we all bring a whole set of values and morals and ethics with us from our personal history. So we need to create a business that's going to not be incongruent with that. So this is where, how do we become effective marketers that way? Well, here's the reality. Nobody is going to buy what they need. That's just a reality. If they knew what they needed, they wouldn't need you, because they'd already be solving their problems and their conflicts, because they already know what they need. So people will always subscribe to and buy what they want. Our job, this is where the ethical component comes in, is to take people where they are, to show them a way they can get what they want, and then through our skill and our expertise, bring them to a new level of awareness and understanding so they get what they need. Now, again, the world is full of people that are brilliant at selling you what you want. And once they get you to buy what you want, then they get you to buy the next thing that you want.
Yeah.
And they help you create wants. Never, and this is a strategy. There's many business people, some big names that I won't mention, but a lot of them have this dialed in. And they understand psychology better. They understand their customer better than the customer understands themselves, because what they do is they continually get them on a treadmill of always trying to satisfy their needs while never or their wants while never satisfying the need.
Yeah, I'm just gonna like, I don't know what your perspective on it is, but like personally, I'm 100% agree with you that like you get there, people are gonna buy what they want and like give. It's like they said, right? Like, sell them what they want, give them what they need. 100%. And completely agree, get them what you need. But I also believe that the need, you don't have to fulfill their need like forever. You fulfill an element of the need, and you can then also sell them onto a next want or need, that something that they might actually need. So it's not contradicting to like also continuing selling them. Just like clarifying that.
No, and I don't mean that to be where the line comes in is and there are some real masters at this that never satisfy a need.
Yes, right.
And they have lifelong customers that just keep coming back for more and more and more and
just
more.
Like scam.
Yeah, and it's not, we wouldn't even perceive it as a scam.
No, I'm on a meta version. It's a scam.
On a meta version, because you come away somewhat satiated because that want was met, but then you go, well, maybe that's not what I really wanted.
Right.
And then, oh, well, let me give you this. Oh, yeah, that's what I wanted.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, I'll give you that then.
Yeah.
So this is this dance that occurs, and also the idea that there is no destination, that we're as human beings, we're machines at creating more wants and more needs. And let's face it, if all of our needs are met, then what's the purpose of life? Right. So we have to keep growing and looking for the next thing. So yes, I agree with you. If we come in on I want this, then through the skill and the expertise, through your skill and expertise, you open my mind and I learn something new and I get a need satisfied. That then opens the universe to me even more.
Yes. You're like,
now I go, wow, now I understand that not only did I need that, now I want this and this and this, which leads me to satisfying further needs.
Yeah. Yes. 100%. Yeah, I love that. I love that so much. This is awesome, Mark. Before we get to our final question, where can people connect with you, learn more about you, and come work with you?
Yes. So currently the best way to connect with me, you can certainly Google my name. My name is Mark Kanty, MarkKanty. And if you want to learn more about what I do, I have a partner, an associate. Her name is Jamie Scultetti. And our website is upscaleyourbusiness.com. So that would be the best place to get a perspective on what we do, upscaleyourbusiness.com. You can find me on LinkedIn as well. You can find me on Facebook. So those are places where you can connect with me, ask questions. If you want to start a dialogue, I would be thrilled to begin a conversation with anyone that's interested. Yeah.
Fantastic. Awesome. So those links to that will most definitely be in the show notes. Now, final question.
Yes.
A little bit different, but what is something controversial that you believe in?
Controversial. Oh, there's a lot there. I would say in this context, this may or may not be controversial. It will be for some, not for others. If anyone knows Maslow's hierarchy of needs, you certainly know them. I believe that one of the paths, and I'll say one, but for me, it's the path to self-actualization.
You could say in a controversial manner. No one's giving you any hate.
Yes. So I believe the path to achieving higher levels of consciousness and satisfying our needs, and then moving beyond that into a values-driven lifestyle, comes from being self-employed. I believe that until we take control of our own destiny and choose to be our own creator in that regard, that we can't reach those higher levels. So that's controversial. We could certainly.
I never heard that one before. It's interesting. Like, it's making me think of like 100 different things. I'm like, would you ever hire an employee or not because of that?
No. In fact, that's where recognizing that not everyone is going to work to that level. Not everyone is going to want to, mature to that level in terms of the way that they think, the way that they believe their values, what they want to achieve.
Yeah, it's interesting. I'm gonna have to think about that one. I appreciate you sharing it. Thank you so much, Mark. This was interesting.
Yeah.
I appreciate you for being here today.
Well, it's been an absolute pleasure. And thanks so much for the invitation, ST. I really like it. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, I like